We lived on, I don't know what would you call it, but something like a plantation to me. It belonged to several different white people. They all was family, I guess. And you couldn't leave. And if you did leave, they either come get you or have somebody kill you, whatever. That's what happened. They did my mama bad.
What'd they do to your mother?
They just had my mother, the white men. They just do what they wanted to do with her. And I just wasn't big enough to do nothing. If I would have been, I don't know, probably wouldn't be.
And this was in the 1950s or 40s?
That was on through the 40s, in the 50s, all through the 50s, and part of the 60s.
So what would the repercussions be if you tried to leave or if you tried to refuse what they wanted?
Back in them days, it was kind of like you had to do what the white man said or get killed. My daddy's uncle, they made him dig a grave and killed him. They killed him and buried him in his own grave. Jerry Dawson, they killed him. He lived right on the same place we lived on. He left and said he wasn't coming back. They wouldn't got him, brought him back, get him right down there from his house, killed him. Hung him up in a tree.
They hung him?
They killed him first, castorized him, and hung him up right from his house where his children, everybody could see him.
Were you aware that this is 1940s, 1950s, that this is insane. Arthur, this breaks my heart to hear this story. Growing up, were you fully aware, this is in the 40s and 50s, the civil rights movement is just about to begin. Were you aware of what was going on in the rest of the country at that time for Black people pursuing freedom?
No.
You weren't aware at all that there was any pursuits for freedom in the 40s and 50s for us?
No, not really. Not really, go. I think maybe like in 65, 66, then they was doing that marching. That's when I really found out. People are scared to talk about it. It's people right now, y'all go to talk to, they won't talk with y'all about this shit. They're scared to do it. They got that fear in them,
How could something like this happen?
A lot of these places that was in very isolated rural areas, it was easy. I mean, you had the opportunity to ride through some of these areas and you saw for miles and miles, there's absolutely nothing.
You think, how could somebody not just escape these type of conditions? And once you actually are out here, you see there is nothing but cotton fields and crops and long